Okay. Hi, this is Christina Strother and Michelle Bliss. We are going to be presenting on 8th grade transition into 9th grade. We are the counselors for the North region. I cover the A through L students, and Michelle, you cover
the M through Z students for all the North region.
So we are looking forward to working with you. Recording. Go ahead, Michelle.
Okay, so this is the high school information session for 8th grade transition into 9th grade, so that Christina and I can help you guys kind of see what's coming next. All right, so our agenda is we're going to cover, obviously we already introduced ourselves, we're going to cover the high school website, graduation and college-bound student requirements, individual graduation plans, which are also known as IGPs that you will be doing with your homeschool teacher. We'll cover career technical education, high school curriculum options, as well as concurrent enrollment. So number one on our agenda is the high school support team. So who do you go to for what things? So this is our whole high school support team. We have the high school success coordinator, which in our region is Sean Wright, and she'll know things like reviews of those grad plans. She supports the course and the curriculum selections. So as far as curriculum is concerned, she probably is your go-to person for our high school curriculum. She will provide teacher and family support in any way that she can and answer any questions about general high school policies and procedures. And then Christina and I will be able to cover, we also do the high school review your grad plans. We really check those, especially juniors and seniors. We do all the A to G and graduation requirement checks. We will help with college application and financial aid. The point of contact for concurrent enrollment. So that's taking those courses at a community college. So we're the ones that you would reach out for that and provide social and emotional support as well. This is where this is us. So the high school coordinator is Sean Wright, and there's her email address. And then there is Christina and her email address under the counselors. Again, she is A through L. And I am Michelle Bliss, and my email, and I am M through Z for all of the North region.
The high school website, general information about high school. The high school website is located at this link here. I do want to click on it because it's going to take me out of the presentation. But if you can screenshot this, if you're at home, or write it down, and this is where you go to find out the information about high school. You can use the site to learn more about an overview of our high school curriculum, the HQT office hour information. HQT stands for the highly qualified teachers, which are the subject-specific teachers that have certification in that particular subject area. So English, social sciences, etc. So it gives them the days, the times, and the links of their office hours if you have an HQT attached to one of your classes. Counseling information, which we will get more into that later. Information on how to request your records, so like your transcripts and so forth. So here's the high school website. If you click into that link that was shared at the previous slide, you can see that there's several resources. The first is to meet our counselors, and you get to meet our team of 13 counselors that we have throughout the state. Again, Michelle and I are for the North region, and all the other counselors are also listed there as well. There's information sessions, which the counselors do for general information. So we'll do a Zoom meeting and send out a link. If you're able to participate, we record them, and this is where we put them after. So if you want to know about the UC-CSU process, if you're interested in financial aid, and other information gets recorded and stored into the information sessions. There's also information about the SAT and the ACT, important dates, college applications, financial aid, and various resources.
Okay, so the next one is graduation and college-bound requirements. So this is kind of an overview of all requirements that you need to graduate from high school and to move on to college. So the first one is graduation requirements. So this in the high school graduation requirements and college entrance requirements are not the same. Those college entrance requirements, we're going to refer to those later as A to G requirements. Course selection should be based on academic, career, and personal interest. So that's how you would decide what courses you want to take. Students can always reach out to either us as counselors or your HST if you have any other questions. All students have to pass a total of 200 credits within the 4 years to graduate from high school. And we will cover those, what section those credits will go to, what subject areas. And also, please be aware that most brick and mortar high schools require 1 to 2 years of PE and a semester of health. So if you're going back and forth, if you start out with our program and then you want to move to another brick and mortar high school, just know that that requirement is different between our two schools. So this will let you know the different tracks of graduation requirements. So on the left-hand side, those are our graduation requirements for our charter schools. On the right-hand side, that is the college entrance requirement. Again, this is called an A through G. It's the university or 4-year college-bound student. If they want to go straight to a 4-year university right out of high school, those would be their requirements. So they are different. There are 2 different requirements for that. So if you could kind of look through with me, on the left side is the high school graduation requirement for English, and you need 30 credits of English to graduate from high school. You need 40 credits of English to go straight to a 4-year university right out of high school. So that's a big difference. The math requirement for graduation from high school is 20 credits, and within that 20 credits, you have to do Algebra 1, A and B, and then any other math A and B. For college, the math requirement, again, is the minimum is 30 credits. So again, this is just the minimum entrance requirement. So if you're talking about wanting to go to a very school that's really full, really hard to get into, like a UC Berkeley, Cal State San Luis Obispo, you're going to have to do more than the minimum. So again, this is just the minimum requirements. And for math, it is actually 30 credits. So you need to get through Algebra 1, Geometry, and Algebra 2. Those are the minimum. Social studies is about the same, obviously, here between our graduation requirements and the A through G. You need the world history, the US history, government, and econ. So that's kind of built in. So you'll cover that either way. In science, they both say 20 credits. However, on the college side, the A to G requirements, those are 2 years or 20 credits of a lab science. So you need to have biology with a lab and then chemistry with a lab. For the high school graduation requirements, you notice that it's just 20 credits of science. So that could be life science and physical science. You have to have both life science and physical science. You just don't have to have the lab. For the graduation requirement, you have to have that lab for the A to G requirement. Language other than English, this and the visual and performing arts. So for high school graduation requirement, you need one or the other, and you have to have 10 credits. So you can have 10 credits of a language or 10 credits of that visual and performing arts. For college, for the A to G, to go straight to that 4-year university, this is a big difference as well, because you need 20 credits of the same foreign language, world language. So you have to have 2 year or 20 credits of Spanish 1 and 2, or 20 credits of French 1 and 2, or 20 credits of German 1 and 2. So you have to go through the second year of the same foreign language. So that you can't do Spanish 1 and then French 1. That doesn't count. You've got to do 20 credits of at least of the same foreign language. And there's a big and. You also will need that 10 credits of the same visual and performing art. So if you take Art 1A and Art 1B, that will count. If you take Art 1A and then Band 1B, that doesn't count. It has to be 10 credits of the same visual and performing arts. So that right there is probably the biggest jump of differences between graduation requirement and that A to G requirement. The other thing is electives. For graduation requirement, it will fall in because if you remember a while back, we said that that's 200 credits to graduate from high school. So that to make up those different elective credits will be 90 credits. So once you finish all those other credits, you'll need another 90 credits of electives. On the A to G side, it works out to where you would only need 50 credits. So we'll kind of touch base on these things a little bit later as well, but that just kind of gives you an overview of the different requirements based on graduation requirement versus that A to G requirement. So college-bound students. So coursework beyond the minimum graduation requirement is necessary for those students who want to go directly to that four-year university, just like we talked about in the last slide. So students who plan to apply to a four-year college right after high school, right after they graduate, they should plan on that A to G requirement. The other thing along with the A to G requirement is that you have to get C's or better in your courses. So I know that in high school, a D will give you credit. However, a D will not count for those A to G requirements. In those courses that are required to go straight on to the four-year university, you will have to get a C grade or better. The college entrance requirements will vary from school to school, so it is recommended that students check with their admissions requirements for the college that they're going to be applying to. The four-year colleges will often have additional requirements, which is the SAT or the ACT scores. Sometimes they ask for a personal essay. And again, those A to G requirements are for our California four-year college system. That's a UC or a CSU. So anything out of state or private, they may vary a little bit with their requirements. So it is going to be very important that you as a family and as a student check those admissions requirements, especially with the different schools, because Christina and I obviously can't know about every school in the nation. So make sure you do those. Okay, so this kind of shows you a little bit of the difference. So this is just kind of examples. So UC Davis, which should fall under our A to G subject requirement that we've told you about. They require 2 years of history, so does the University of Oregon. We require 4 years of English, or the A to G requires 4 years of English, so does the University of Oregon. But as you can see here with our UC system, they require 3 years of math, but 4 years is recommended. Well, with the University of Oregon, only 3 years is recommended. So we're always telling kids, okay, these are the minimums. Well, in this situation, the recommended is even 3 years for Oregon. We require A to G California. When I'm saying we at this point, I mean California. They require for a language other than English 2 years, but 3 is recommended. For the language at the University of Oregon, theirs is also 3 years recommended. The science, let's see, that's the same, 2 years. We recommend 3 years. Visual and performing arts 1 year, and then a college prep. So that one pretty much, other than that math, will fall right into place. So as long as you stay with that UC, CSU, A to G requirement, you're pretty good there. So this one is a little bit different. This is Linfield College. This is an out-of-state private college compared to Concordia University in Irvine, which is a private Lutheran college. So these are two private colleges, one out-of-state, one in-state. Again, that English is similar. So obviously 4 years will work for that. Mathematics, the Linfield requires 4 years, including completion of Algebra 2. The Concordia University only requires 3 years. So that's a difference there. So if you're going to that Linfield College, you have to make sure that, wow, I have to do 4 whole years of math. Social science for that Linfield College is a lot more of a requirement, 3 to 4 years of social science, whereas Concordia is just 2 years. They also want a natural sciences, so this is including the 2 years of a lab-based coursework, but they want some other sciences as well because they're requiring 3 to 4 years. So these natural sciences would be more than our A to G requirement for our California schools. Modern language, Linfield saying anywhere from 2 to 4, and that Concordia is wanting 2 years. Again, that's of the same fine art or same foreign language, sorry. So those, you can kind of see that those are different. So you have to be really careful on what requirement you're looking at. Our A to G requirements can get you close, but those private schools may require something a little bit different.
The next area we're going to cover is the individualized graduation plans, which we call them IGPs. What courses do 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th graders take? The IGP is done by the HSTs. So each student has a grad plan that helps them figure out what they're going to need depending on which pathway that they're taking, whether it's the A to G or just trying to get the high school diploma. High school students will work with their HST to create that 4-year plan. The IGP will be updated on a yearly basis. Please let your HST know if your student plans to play collegiate sports and meet the NCAA requirements, because then there's another area that needs to be covered that makes, so we are making sure that the students are meeting that requirement as well. This is a sample IGP for a student trying to meet the A to G requirements. So as Michelle just got done saying, you can see on the left-hand side where it says the course is history, social science. So these are what the A to G. So the A requirement is history, the B requirement is English, the C is mathematics, the D is the science, the E is the world language, the F is the visual and performing arts, and the G is the electives. So here is the plan out for the next 4 years of what students need to take. Again, as Michelle had mentioned, if a student's trying to be competitive and getting into a more competitive school, they may choose to do honors or AP courses or concurrent enrollment, which we'll get into that later. But this is just the sample of what that looks like. And again, this plan here is taking students through 4 years of mathematics, which is what counselors recommend as well. And then the physics, you're taking the 3 years of the science. So you got that biology, chemistry, and you're also meeting that physics requirement and doing 3 years of the same world language versus the 2 years that's required. This one is the 200 credits needed to graduate from high school. So there's a lot more flexibility where students can take a lot more electives. So any classes that interest the student, that they're able to take a lot more of those because there's not as many core requirements that are needed. So as you can see in, let's say, the English, you only need that 3 years, and then underneath it's math. So the options being pre-algebra or algebra, because algebra is a requirement in order to graduate. But you can choose, if the student is starting with algebra, then they can go on to geometry if that's a choice, or you can do consumer math. And I'm actually an advocate of students taking consumer math because it's teaching them that life skills math that we all need to have in order to live independently as adults. So there's also your sciences, and there's, again, more flexibility. It's either you do a physical science or an earth science. Whereas the one before it, which I'm going to go back to, it's biology, chemistry, physics are the requirements. Coming back to this one. So you have biology or life science for that other science requirements. And again, you need either a world language or a visual and performing arts class. You don't need them both. But if a student does choose to take them, that is still fine. Those credits will roll over to elective. So the total here needs to be 200. Normally, if a student is doing the A to G, which I just flicked back to, so I'm sorry if I'm confusing anyone, but they usually have more than the required 200. Usually students have about 220 credits if they're taking the recommended courses. The CTE, Michelle?
Sorry, I couldn't get my unmute. So here I am. So career technical education, we refer to that as CTE course. Sometimes we'll say CTE courses or CTE pathway. So CTE stands for career technical education. So today's career technical education is a program of study integrating core academic knowledge with that technical and occupational knowledge as well. So upon completion of a CTE pathway, students have the knowledge base required to sit for and pass exams that might be leading onto that industry certificate, giving them the opportunity to apply for a career-ready job. So while these CTE courses, it is a career focused education, preparing students for the world of work, completion of a pathway prepares students for college as well, and is a valuable addition to one's application, giving students a boost when applying to a particular program of study. So we, as a Inspire Charter Schools, is proud to work with vendors offering courses for CTE pathways. So these CTE pathways can vary. These are our offered courses for that CTE pathway. Again, we are both, Christine and I, advocates of the CTE pathways. It is really important that a student does kind of see what they want to do for work, even after college. If they want to go to college, what are they going to go on and do? And these CTE certificates can really offer students a great advantage into the world of work. So ours are broken down here. These are fairly new, but they do have them broken down, the curriculum pricing, who to work with. The ones that we're offering now are the agriculture natural resources. And again, when we send this out, I think you'll have a link to this as well. But we also do the arts and media, which can be dance and choreography, professional theater. Then we also have education, child development, and family services. So our pathway would be that child development. We have health science and medical technology, which is also patient care. So that's our pathway for that. Information and communication technologies, also marketing, sales, and services, and the public service, which is that public safety pathway. Okay.
Okay, the high school curriculum options. The curriculum options that we offer, and these are just an overview, that we have tons of options for families. And again, this is just an overview. Curriculum options, we believe in student choice. Students can choose the best curriculum that meets their learning needs. Students will work with their HST to pick which curriculum they will use. Options include our adapted curriculum provided by our curriculum department and taught by our teachers. Or families can use their curriculum of choice. The HST will support any necessary supplementing. So again, there's the HQT-led, which is that highly qualified teacher. Choice Plus Academy is one option where there's live online sessions based on offline work. Then there's Edgenuity. So with Choice Plus Academy, you meet at a certain time and date each week with the teacher in your learning environment. It's at the virtual classroom. With Edgenuity, there's a lot more flexibility because you are able to work at your own pace. So if you have a student who is an early morning person and they're up at 5 in the morning, they want to get started, they have that option to do that with Edgenuity because it's an online curriculum with or without an HQT for each course. The HQT-led textbook is offline curriculum with an online grade books. And there's also Odyssey-ware, which is an online curriculum with without HQTs. So again, you have that choice of if you want a highly qualified teacher, that's available. So if you remember back when we were talking about the high school website, you were able to see HQT office hours. If you don't have an HQT attached, those office hours aren't necessarily available for you because you're not in that course, which it's great to have a highly qualified teacher because they are the specialist in those subject areas. HQTs are subject matter experts. These teachers will assign work, answer student questions, host office hours, grade assignments, and provide feedback. Other popular curriculum options. BYU Online, which is an online curriculum, and it's, is it Brigham Young University, Michelle? Is the BYU, yes. I believe, is what it is. Yes. Okay, it's the online curriculum that has a BYU teacher attached. Schmoop, which is an online curriculum, parent account controls, pacing and gradebook, so it's parent-led. eDynamics is online curriculum known for engaging electives, parent account controls, and grading. Pearson, Holt, McDougall, etc. textbooks are offline textbooks. Teaching textbooks is a popular math curriculum. There's DVD lessons with workbooks, and there will be supplementations that are needed. Curriculum options. Students can mix and match any of the curriculum options. For example, your student can take math with Choice Plus Academy, English with BYU, dance with a parent-led course, and ASL, which is American Sign Language, at a local community college. And we usually recommend mixing up curriculum, especially with students who maybe need a little more structure. The ones that have more flexibility, again, is some that online, such as Edgenuity. But if you need like the student to be at a certain place at a certain time, Choice Plus Academy or using outside vendors are great options for families.
Okay, so the next option, which we've kind of touched base on, or at least said a couple of times, is the concurrent enrollment. So this is how, if you're asking the question, how can students earn high school and college credit at the same time? So we call that concurrent enrollment. Through concurrent enrollment, this means that high school students take community college courses, and they also are remaining a full-time high school student. So students will earn these high school and college credits at the same time. Students should consult with their counselor, which is Christina or myself, before enrolling in any of these community college courses. And we, as counselors, can advise on college courses and check the graduation requirements that you'll need. So kind of the basics for concurrent enrollment, students have to take a minimum, well, normally students have to take a minimum of 20 credits to be a charter school student with us. However, if they are taking college courses, they can drop that minimum down to 15 credits, and then along with the college course. Students can take a maximum of 11 credits per, these are college credits per semester at the community college. So 11 college units are the maximum that they can take. I had someone ask one time, well, can't they take 12? Because that's the way their classes fit. Because they had I think 3 4-unit courses. And I said, no, because the very maximum is 11 credits. So that's the maximum a student can take. Students can take core academic courses, or they can take elective courses at the community college. And the community college courses must be on the master agreement for students to earn high school credit. So we'll talk about that, I think, as well. So concurrent enrollment credit conversion. So on the left-hand side, you'll see where it says the community college credits. And then on our side, that's the conversion of how many high school credits that you will get with us. So if a community college course says that it's worth 1 credit, 1 college credit, we will give it 2.5 high school credits. If it's anywhere between 1.5 to 2.5 college credits, then we will give that course 5 high school credits. If the course that you're taking at the community college is a 3-credit course or more, 4 or 5 credits, the maximum that we will give is 10 credits of high school credits. So that's where you get both credits. You'll get a transcript from the college with 3 credits on a transcript, say if you took a 3-credit course, so you get those college credits, but then we will also give you 10 credits of high school credits in that subject. So at the asterisk at the bottom, if a student is awarded less than 1 credit at the community college, then we will issue the same amount of high school credit. So for example, if you took a college elective course that was only 0.5 credits at the community college, then we will give them also 0.5 credits for high school on their transcript.
What's next? What's next? Start thinking about the curriculum you would like to use for next year. Start high school planning by completing your student's IGP with your HST. Don't stress, but also don't overly commit to your plan. New curriculums are approved each fall, which may change your option. It is important to have a good handle on available options. Remember, we have a lot of options, which can be overwhelming, but it also has a lot of supports to help you make the best decision for your students. And thank you, Michelle and I thank you for taking the time to listen to our presentation, and we are definitely available if you have questions regarding the presentation or anything. Hopefully you took down some notes, and you are free. Again, I'm the A through L counselor, and Michelle is the M through Z, so we would definitely be able to answer your questions based on who your correct counselor is. And you can always reach out to your HST to ask questions first, and if they're not able to assist you, you can reach out to us. Michelle?
Yes, thank you so much for watching our presentation. And again, we are always available. Your HST is a good contact, and we look forward to working with you as high school students.
All right, thank you, and have a great day.